What's happening, guys? It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so I wanted to tackle two things. One, which is a very quick update so people don't think I'm dead on this channel, and then two, talk about one specific thing, which is, I'm going to call it as the value of media, but what we're actually talking about is the power of saying no, the way that you set your pricing for your business, and yeah, basically that value that you need to show to clients. First up, update. Where have I been? What's been going on? Because I guess I haven't really done any uploads to this channel for quite some time, aside from the fact that business was continuing, and then I haven't really talked about anything. So basically, yeah, the business is still going. I did have, in all honesty, a bit of dip in motivation recently. So for probably like a month ago, I really did not know what I was doing and where I was going. And I think that came down to a few reasons, some of which I'm going to talk about later in the video with regards to this value stuff. But majority of it has been, I think, just overloading. And that's weird because I really didn't consider myself as overloaded. With regards to these specific videos rather than the actual business, I was actually putting my time into a personal project. It's over on my personal channel and it's basically going through the CrossFit Open. So head over there if you want to go and check out that particular series of videos. I think there's about 16 or so of them and I still need to finish off that series. But with regard to this business, I suddenly felt overwhelmed, and so I decided that maybe it is time to get someone in as an editor, and so I started to progress that forward. And when I went through that process, I actually started to list how many projects we had on the go, and yeah, it's no surprise that I was feeling a little overwhelmed with what was happening. And I feel like that whole process probably took a month or so for me to actually realize and get on top of, and so then move back to a more productive place. So yeah, I now have a casual editor on board. He's working with me to get through some of the backlog that's been generated, and we're pretty much almost there. So it's also given me an opportunity to do more for the business because we can actually bring in more clients, and that's really good. Managing a person is now probably something that I need to talk about on this channel, but we'll kind of get to that at some other point. On top of that, we've recently had 3 weeks in a row of 4-day working weeks, and whilst I think as employees we all sit there and go, yeah, public holiday, when we work for ourselves it's very much a case of, great, take the work that you were doing 5 days or 6 days or 7 days and compress it down because you'd like to take that day off just like other people do. So anyway, my motivation is back up. We've kind of progressed through the backlog of work. We're starting to sign new stuff, and I think, you know, I've had a number of meetings recently which have really indicated that people are keen to get on board with this social media package that I've been talking about. If you're not sure what that is, then basically it's where we deliver a whole bunch of short social media clips that allow businesses to basically dive in and kind of throw them out on their social media as and when they need them. So effectively it's content creation. Okay, that's probably enough of an update. I do apologize there hasn't been a video, and hopefully I will get back now that we're not doing a personal project to really just kind of focusing on this, and especially as I feel a lot more motivated and focused as to what's going on. So I wanted to get on to the main topic of today, which is about value of media. And this has kind of come up mainly through a number of different routes, and it's basically occurred because I've actually had to say no to clients for the work that we're doing. Turning down work is something that I wouldn't have really planned for. It's been a difficult process to manage, and this isn't just work at an early stage, i.e., you know, somebody sends an email and you're just like, no, that's not interesting. We've actually been at the process of taking money as deposit up front, and therefore starting work when we've actually decided that we can actually no longer go on with these projects. And I wanted to talk about this for a while, but it's been very difficult. Like, I don't want to present these things in a negative manner. I want to present them as positive as we can, but certainly so that there's value in somebody listening to this, rather than just a story. There should be a lesson that's relevant to business, because that's the point of these vlogs. And basically this kind of came about, and I really summarized my thought in a post on one of the forums that I'm on, where somebody asked the question, does anyone here produce short film / videos for small businesses? How do you go about setting a price that is fair for both yourself and your client? It seems that whilst video is becoming more popular to promote small businesses, clients are not willing to invest money. They don't realize the amount of work that goes into producing a 2 to 3 minute video. All they see is the amount they're having to invest for a few minutes of video content. Are there there any solutions? And when I started writing a response to this, I realized that it kind of really summarized this whole, how do you say no to people? How do you set a price? And ultimately, how do you show value to your clients so that they understand what you're doing for them? So realistically, these are my 4 points that I put in this post that I think are summarized quite well and probably useful for you guys. Number 1 was around pitching or branding yourself properly. I have very much found over the 3 or 4 years of whatever it is this business has been operating now, there is a massive difference between different terminology with regards to price. Cheap is not the same as low cost. Low cost is not the same as affordable. Affordable is not the same as competitively priced. And those are all terms that I've used in my marketing material, and I feel like each one is a step above, and it's strange how that is done in some very simple wordplay. Ultimately, I'm a firm believer that the brand that you represent yourself as will get you the clients that you're after. Look at any of the major brands and say, for example, Apple. They brand themselves as a luxury product, and therefore people are willing to pay more. Number 2, I think you need to show value. I now do this through, when we provide a quote, I provide a breakdown of the amount of hours that we're spending on a job. That, from my side, protects me because I know how much time I've allocated for that project, and if the client steps away from that, then we're able to charge more. But also it starts to show the client how much work actually goes into their project. I think with a lot of this stuff that I do for media, we really have to hold our clients' hands to make sure that they understand what we're actually delivering for them, what value they get. And I'm not just talking about you will receive one 30-second video or a 2-minute video, whatever that is. It's more about, if we're going to move the camera, what implications that has. We need certain equipment, we may need to light differently. If we're going to mic someone, then we need a suitable mic for that. I think when you start to show product knowledge, then the client understands that you're actually giving them value. You're not just there, specifically for my business, to push a button for them. Number 3 is the biggest lesson that I'm learning at the moment, and that is the preparedness to say no and lose business. When I started my business, I would take on any job that I could, that I knew I could do. I couldn't afford to lose the experience or the money or that client for potential future work. But I think the lesson that I've learned in the last few months is that you need to have the confidence to uphold your prices and quality of work. Clients will ask you to do things for cheaper, and you then have a choice of, are you going to do it cheaper and lower the value of your product, lower the quality of your product? Or are you going to do it cheaper but still provide the right quality, which effectively means your profitability is down? I think you need to be confident but realistic in what you're willing to charge clients, and you must be willing to explain to them why you're charging them that, why it costs something, because it's only fair when they spend money that they may question you on what that value is that you're providing. My 4th and final point is that you shouldn't forget yourself in all of this. There are non-billable pieces such as meetings and travel and admin that cost you time that you could be working on other projects that you need to factor into your projects. Now, I've talked about on this vlog meetings how they're both a positive and a negative, but I think so long as you can cost them into what you're doing, then you should be able to get through them. And it's strange with all this stuff, this additional stuff, people did tell me about it, but I didn't really think about it until you start to look at the impact that it has on your working day. If someone needs a meeting, then you can't do any other task if you're attending that meeting. So that meeting must be worthwhile. And that is the same for any task that you have. So to kind of summarize and wrap this all up, I think pricing is a difficult conversation to have no matter what business you're in. It is really down to the business owner to work that out. And I think I've really taken the last 3 years as trial and error to try and work out what my price point is, where I don't feel that I'm overcharging my clients, but I'm also not undervaluing the work that I do. I feel like a lot of the time that I've been working, I very much have been underselling myself. But at the same time, I had to do that to get my experience in, to build a reputation, and ultimately get more clients. I think the easiest way to find out what your value is worth is do it for free. You will very quickly find out what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept in both the way that people treat you and for the money that you generate. Anyway, as ever, that's probably been way too much rambling for me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you are interested about continuing to follow my business journey, be it a video once a month or once a blue moon, please do consider subscribing down below. Thanks for watching.